Welcome to the How to Get on Reality TV podcast with Dan Giesling, where I answer your reality TV casting questions once a week. Hey guys, what's going on? If you're watching this the day it comes out, happy 4th of July if you're in the United States of America. Hope you guys enjoy this time with your family and friends and loved ones. And if you're not watching, I'm listening on the 4th of July. I just dated the podcast. But either way, this podcast, we answer some questions that are kind of pretty important to understand in terms of things to do and not to do in casting. So it's kind of it's funny the way things worked out because they've been addressed in the past. So we're going to refer back to a few of those, but I feel like it's important to re-bring them back up for a lot of people to understand. Anyways, before we get into those two rapid-fire questions, I want to thank you guys for tuning in as always. As a quick reminder, the Snapchat episode is coming up, so if you want to add me, it's just at Dan Giesling, all one word on Snapchat, Dan Giesling. I'll be doing that fairly soon. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it's on the horizon. Anyways, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these two rapid fire questions.
Hi Dan, quick question. I have the opportunity to go to a fundraiser where there's reality TV show contestants at, and one of them happens to currently work in casting. My question is this: what's the best way to approach her about being cast on a show that I really, really want to be on? I've applied a number of times over the years, and I guess my first thought is just to see if I can get to know her, talk with her, and then bring it up. Because obviously I don't want to be desperate, but I also really don't want to waste an opportunity if there's something to do. Any thought that you have about it would be helpful. Thanks.
All right, so the first question is from Aaron, and Aaron wants to know essentially, hey, he's going to be at an event with a casting director, and how should he approach said casting director? I'm going to just slam the brakes on right there. You got to slam the brakes on. Why? Because you're spending a lot of time thinking about how you can approach this person, how you can get to know that person, when really what you need to be focusing on is how can you make your story the best, right? So all this, effort and I appreciate your ingenuity in trying to go ahead and take a different approach to getting cast, but I would strongly urge you not to do that. The reason being is because a lot of people pitch them, and especially in that environment, you got to think, you're not going to be the only person that's going to be trying to do that. That's not going to be the type of place they're going to be looking for someone. It's just not a good idea. There was an episode we did, podcast number 15, titled "Should I Contact a Reality TV Casting Director?" And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. And I know that may be tough to hear because you're like, hey, I wanted to take this back alleyway and maybe make a connection. And hey, maybe they may like me, but it's just not worth your time and effort and creativity. What I would do is I take that time, effort, and creativity into finding out why you haven't gotten cast. You've applied many times before, so why haven't you got cast? That's what I would focus on my energies. So look at your video. Look at your story. Is it engaging? Have you tried it on people? Have you tried telling stories from your audition video to people you don't know, to random people, to your friends? Have you gotten reactions? These are all things you can be doing instead of trying to take that kind of backroads shortcut that's really not going to work. Now, Aaron, I hope you don't take this in a offensive way, just highly critical, because I don't want you to waste your time, right? I want you to spend your time working on things that are going to actually help you, not things that are just going to waste your time and not progress you or put you in a position to be successful in casting. So what I would do, Aaron, is go have fun at the event, but don't even, I wouldn't even think twice about approaching the casting director, because you always have to put yourself in that person's shoes. They're going to be bombarded, especially from what you said, if it's a reality TV event. I mean, you just got to understand the situation. So Aaron, I hope this helps, and I would refocus your energies on what's most important, and that's you being able to pitch yourself and tell your story.
Hey Dan, first off, thanks for posting all the content that you do. It's super helpful. I've learned a lot from it. So my question is, with the casting process, when I'm auditioning for a reality TV show, is it better to go to an open casting call or submit a video? Thanks.
All right, next question is from Miles, and Miles says this is the age-old question. I actually went through back all the 85 podcasts we've done up to this point, and tried to find one with the headline, "What's better, an audition video or going to open casting call?" And I swear that we had done one, but apparently we never did. But I feel like this is one of the most asked questions that I ever get, through email or what have you. And I thought it was one of the first ones, but it apparently was never on there. But anyway, so what's better, open casting call or going to creating your own audition video? Here's the answer. I always unequivocally 100% say, really for everyone. If you're listening to this podcast, send in an audition video. Here's why. If you mess up, it's okay. You can edit it to make yourself look as good as you want or as bad as you want. An open casting call, I've always called this an open cattle call. They round as many people as they can up in a given area, right? And most of those people have no clue what's going on, and they're just hoping to catch that diamond in the rough. And that's the only way I recommend going to an open casting call, is if you know have a really, really dynamic, natural personality. Most people don't. I don't have that. I know a lot of people that get on the show don't have that. There's very few people you can walk up to and be like, wow, this person has it. Everyone else, normal people have to be smart about it, have to know how to pitch themselves, have to work on it. And so because of that, I like audition videos way better because you're in control. When you go to an open casting call, you have zero control. More often than not, it's going to be you and 3 other people or you and 4 other people. They turn on the light and say, all right, circus animal dance, right? Like whoever's the best circus animal in that 30 seconds may get a call, right? It's not an efficient use of your time. It's not a good use of your creativity, not a great use of your effort. Send in an audition video because you are in control. You can measure what works for you in some regards and what doesn't. And also it forces you to look at how you are on camera, right? If you go to open casting call, who cares? It doesn't matter, right? You're never going to see that. But when you shoot an audition video, you've actually got to sit and watch that and be like, wow, I really kind of look boring in this. Or, wow, that really wasn't funny at all. Or, I looked really good doing this. Or, I really like that I said this. I need to rephrase it and make it sound even better. So it allows you to be a lot more understanding and putting you in a position to be more self-analytical if you do an audition video. So I always, especially if you're listening to this podcast, and if you're really serious about putting yourself in a position to be successful, don't go to an open casting call. And of course, people don't like to hear that because going to open casting call is a lot easier. Casting people don't like to hear that because they don't like to have empty casting calls. But bottom line is, if you want to be in control, and if you want to, reality TV casting is all about controlling everything you can and just managing the variables that are outside of your control. So if you send an audition video, you control everything except the casting director's opinion, which you can even, if you have a really good audition video, you almost know what they're going to say on the other side. However, if you go to open casting call, here's what you have to worry about. What are you wearing? Who else is going to be in your group? How much time you're going to have to spend there? It's what are you going to say? What are they going to ask you? How are you going to look on camera? Are you going to know where to look on camera? There's so many variables that you can control if you do an audition video that you can't if you go to open casting call. So I hope this helps. I know we did a little bit of a different format today just because there are 2 kind of shorter rapid fire questions I wanted to hit in this one, but both Aaron and Miles, thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. As a small thank you, we're going to send you a free digital copy of my story, How a Normal Guy Got Cast on Reality TV. And if you want your question answered on the podcast, go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask and leave a voicemail question for me. Also, guys, send in your casting stories, send in your case studies. I love breaking those down because I think those make for some of the most interesting podcasts, and a lot of people get a lot out of them. So go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask and submit your question. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of How to Get on Reality TV podcast. As always, hope you guys got something from this, and whether it was something, a direct answer from the questions from the audience, or something that made you look at how you're pitching yourself in a different way. I hope it helps. That's the whole point of this podcast, is to put you in a position to be more successful. And speaking of being more successful, this really wasn't a good transition, but if you want to add me on Snapchat, just Dan Giesing, all one word. I'm going to be doing a special Snapchat episode in the near future, so you want to add me there so you don't miss out on that. You have a chance to ask me a question face-to-face, and we'll use it for the podcast. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Monday.